be standing here right. I will be standing here right. I will be standing here right by your side. I will be standing here till the end of time. I will be standing here all through the night, till the stars align. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die, so come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling.
Hey guys, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I don't know if you all could see that it was cutting out. If you guys can hear me and everything is going okay, please put a 1 in the chat so I know it's okay. And hello to Shalima, BBE, and May. Glad you're here. I am running off my hotspot on my phone, guys, so. Hello, Versi. How are you too? Great. And I went ahead and popped in here early, guys, because I was just looking and I saw something. I want to give credit to What Big Eyes. She put this out 2 hours ago, I guess, on her community chat or her community tab. It says Hawkins County, Tennessee, WJHL. A compliance check operation by law enforcement led to the arrest of 2 SOs in Hawkins County who failed to register. According to a post on social media by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, around 50 SOs were visited during this operation. The checks were conducted by the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, the TBI SO Registry Unit, and the United States Marshal Service for the Eastern District. The operation lasted 2 days, with law enforcement teams conducting compliance checks on 48 registered SOs in the area. Out of the 48 SOs, 45 were reportedly in compliance with the checks. The offenders not in compliance were reported to be living at an unregistered address, and 2 SOs were located and arrested for failing to register, the post states. SORs, compliance check operations such as this one, are conducted periodically in various counties across the state. The TBI state in the post. The identities of the arrested offenders were not included in this post. I found that very interesting. And to tell you, I mean, not that I was into true crime before summer come along, but I have never heard tell of them doing that. Never heard tell of that RSO unit going out and doing anything. Never even knew there was a unit. So to me, that's a little bit odd. Maybe we really are getting somewhere in Summer's case. And from the pinpoint Hawkins County. I hope everybody's doing well. Hello, Zero, May, Shalima, Jenny Roll, Outdoorsy Life, Versi. I hope you guys are doing good. And BBE. Auntie M, hello, hun. John Smelty. Well, I just believe I just saw you a minute ago in Genevieve's chat, Discovering the Truth. You're not too late, honey. I'm actually early. I started like 10 minutes early. There was evidently, they went around in Hawkins County, and it lasted 2 days checking all the RSOs to make sure they were in compliance. It was TBI and the state marshal's office went around and checked to make sure all these people were in compliance with the registry. And evidently, two of them didn't bother to register where they were living, and there was two more who didn't register at all. And those two have been arrested. So that's where we've gotten so far. Now, like I said, I'm going to talk about, I want to talk about Kaylee Jones. I want to talk about Summer, and I want to talk about Kiely. So we're going to go ahead and get Kaylee. Well, we'll wait on Kaylee because everybody else. Hello, Miss Genevieve. We're going to wait on Kaylee. Let's do Kiely real quick. Just real quick, just like my video said this morning. Everybody's saying we have to wait until November 1st. Wait until November 1st to find out if it was an accident or if they're going to rule it an accident or foul play, homicide, murder, whatever. But if you ask me, you do not rule people out as a suspect if it was an accident. If they thought that it was an accident, what happened to Kiely, why would they even bother ruling Jagger out as a suspect? Think about that, guys. You don't go out here and start taking people in and questioning them and ruling them out if it's just an accident. So something's up there, if you ask me. That's Ellie's trying to tell us something. Nona, what do you make of Don getting out? Do you think he will go back to you? No, I don't know if he'll go back to Utah. Probably not, because he knows that they are trying to get him up there. So I don't think he would actually be stupid enough to actually go up there and just rub it in their face that they couldn't take out charges on him or couldn't take him to court. I don't think he'll be going back to Utah. I don't know if he'll stick around Tennessee or not. But I do have a few things. Okay. Now, first of all, I received an email from a lady. I'm not going to name her, but she gave me like 3 emails with pages of information. Okay. And some of it I've never heard before. Some of it was stuff that was repeated off the internet, but her take on what may have happened. But then I got a hold of her and called her and talked with her. And there's like 4 or 5 things here that I want you guys to ponder on for me and tell me what you think about them. So Don's got a new address in Tennessee that's not on Ben Hill, and I'm wondering if it might be a halfway house. It may very well be. If you will send that address, if you have it, if you'll send it to me, I can tell you more than likely where it's at. But if it's a halfway house, more than likely it'll be down there on Magnolia in Knoxville. Okay, now she told me one, and this is stuff that's alleged, guys. I'm just wanting to check into it. I want to know what you guys think of it. Everybody was going off about the red barrels a while back, right? And the fact that supposedly they had put their waste in the barrels and then they got hauled off. Well, according to this person that got a hold of me, she says that the barrels were removed 4 days after Summer got gone, and they were removed by either TBI or FBI 1. Even though Ronnie Lawson was ordering everybody to stay away from these, they didn't have no significance to the case. Well, like I said, allegedly, she says TBI or FBI 1 removed these barrels. 2, she also states, allegedly, that CPS was in the home prior to Summer getting gone. And part of the reason that they were so concerned about that house and that home was the wiring in it, because it was dangerous. It wasn't wired up correctly because evidently Don had done it himself. And come on, he's a dude that does drywall. He's not an electrician. Also, Don supposedly, now this is the one I'm really, really curious about. Don supposedly has a younger brother. Now, I'm not sure if he's younger or older, but this lady says that he is younger. I do not have a name on him. I've done some searching along with a couple other people, and the best we can dig up right now is that possibly that Dennis Dwayne that keeps popping up every time you look Don's name up. He's 65 years old. He lives in Ogden, Utah, and he's associated with every time you look up a Don Wells, whether it be 1, 2, or 3, this Dennis name is attached to it. So I'm wondering if maybe that's his brother and it was an older brother instead of a younger brother. Y'all have to overlook me. I've been coughing all day. My chest is hurting real bad today too. I also found out some other things. Now, when I was doing the background search on Dawn today, well, I had help doing this. Um, we were looking up his dad's name because we were trying to find out if Dennis was his brother or connected to his dad. And okay, hang on one second. It's not in Knoxville, but it's connected to a lot of people. Is why I think it might be a halfway house. I'll send it to you when I get done grilling. Okay, that's fine then. If he's got a brother, I'll find out. Okay, well, good. Um, Also, like I said, as we were looking for the Dennis guy and any connection to Donald Senior, whatever he may be, um, there was a questioning about the property. It shows that Donald Wells Sr., the one in Roya, Utah, owns property, 2907 Lincoln Avenue, Ogden, Utah. Now, if Donald Sr. lives in Roy, why would he own property in Ogden? Oh, wait, that's where Dennis lives, is in Ogden. Okay, that says the first piece of property he owns. The second piece of property listed under Senior's name is 110 Ben Hill Road. And it says that he has owned that property since October 5th, 2021. And it gives a lot of other information in here. I mean, like Property Seller Solution supposedly owned that piece of property between August 2018 and I think the end of the year. I don't know. Then it says CJ Morlock Farms is connected to 110 Ben Hill Road. And Clyda Trent, of course, owned it back in 2013 for exactly a year, I believe it was, or somewhere in there. And then, of course, Don got it back in 2015, April 13th, 2015. That was right about the time him and Pam divorced. And Pam supposedly, allegedly got a piece of the property. I hope I feel better too, sweetheart. I'm literally, my chest has been hurting all day and I'm afraid I'm getting sick. And I mean, I've not been sick at all since January 1st, 2020. So everybody, please say prayers and keep your fingers crossed for me. There was a youngish person on the property supposed to be family member and a perp. That was Chris Marcos. That's also been evidently proven that he really did go up there and take care of not Karen Goad. I guess her name's Hazel too. I don't know. But anyways, he took care of Karen when Karen first got sick. It's also been said though that Don showed up before Candace did. When he got there, his mom told him he could stay in the trailer down next to the gray shed. That was when Chris Marcos was still staying up there helping take care of Don's mom. Now, why one of Grandis's family members would be up there taking care of Don's mom is beyond me. But then if that's true, supposedly Don sent for Candace later on. Now, you guys, that makes me wonder because if you'll remember back, Candace and Dawn both said that they traveled from Arkansas to Tennessee when they came to Tennessee. That was the same time that Rose disappeared. That was their alibi. They were in transit from Arkansas to Tennessee. But if Dawn Wells actually showed up on the property prior to Candace and then sent for Candace later on, where was Candace at while Dawn was up on the property before he sent for her? Could she have been in Wisconsin up there near her sister? I mean, I've always threw it out that she didn't have anything to do with Rose because they were in transit, but I only heard about the person once, but it was a brother, I believe, of Dawn's. Oh, really? I've never heard about another because this lady's saying that Karen actually had 4 children. And do you know none of them were mentioned in her obituary? And if it was, that's alleged, guys. This is what this lady's telling me. If anybody has seen her obituary and it does mention their names, please let me know. Because I do not want to say something that's incorrect. But according to this lady, she's been doing research on this since summer got gone. But according to her, there was 4 children. There was Dawn, a little brother, and the 2 girls. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Donna Kay. Dana Kay, sorry. There was also a woman sleeping in a derelict car on the property. Huh. Marcos has several aliases and CW identified him as a cousin. Yeah, he is. He's not. I don't know. He would be her cousin, yeah, because I think they said it was Grandis's nephew. It's not the brother that just right after summer got gone that got out of the mental institution because of the essaying and stuff. It's another brother they had, another brother to Grandis, but he's also the guy that painted Candace's Subaru. I seen the paperwork, guys. I've seen it. Um, who was it? Nita's World has a copy of the registration, and that car, that Subaru, was registered as a white Subaru. And it's been emailed to me that Chris Marcos is the one that actually did the paint job and painted it red. And I believe it was registered in December 2021 or 2020, sorry. I believe Candace is the key to everything. No worries, Nana. Sorry you're not feeling well. It's okay, hon. Hello, Marie Kitchen. Anyways, there's some talking points about Summer's case. But like I said on my video yesterday, we do need to go back. Scratch all the stuff that we've heard from Dawn, Candace, Allie, Hunter, all of them. Scratch all of it. And start new. Just listening to the news broadcast, to what the FBI, TBI, and Hawkins County actually puts out. And if we try to delete all the bull crap out of our brains and just go on what the police have said and see if maybe there's something that we missed because we were so furious at what Dawn was saying or what Candace was saying, and see if we can't find something that we missed. And I think that there might be something that we could catch if we weren't so upset over everything that was going on back when the investigation first started. May. It took me a minute to realize what you were doing there. Hi, everyone. Please hit Candace. Oops, I mean the like button. Yeah, we know what you mean, May. Please hit Candace. Now, I want to ask, we're 20 minutes in, guys, and we've got 40 people in this chat. And I want to know, did you all do your homework? Did anybody do their homework on Kaylee Jones? Not that there's a whole lot out there. I mean, I watched everything that there was out there about Kaylee Jones within 3 hours of putting her name out there saying that she was going to be the angel of the week. Well, do you know anything about Kaylee Jones, Versi? Ladies. Kaylee Jones is she's 17 now, but she was a 16-year-old that went missing from Carrollton, Georgia, 3 months ago. I always thought it was strange that Candace knew CPS was coming. I would have thought CPS would do a surprise visit. No, they can't do that. I mean, unless somebody calls in like the child is in immediate danger or something, they can't do that. You did, Carrie. Well, thank you. What's the word on where Grandis is? As far as I know, she's still in Illinois with her sister. That's all I've known. She's in West Atlanta. Or, oh, you're talking about where Kaylee is from. Yeah. Well, anyways, Kaylee needs to be found. Lord, forgive me if I'm wrong. Okay. And this is just my opinion, my thoughts. This child needs to be found. And she needs a safe home. I will not say she needs to go be returned home to her parents. I can't. With everything in me, I cannot say that. No, I'm not going to say that they're mistreating her and beating her and abusing her or anything like that. But emotional and mental abuse sometimes can be worse than physical abuse ever thought about being. And in my opinion, they have done nothing but emotionally torture this child her whole life, her and her brother both. If their interview that they gave on Sleuth Mom's channel is in any indication of what that child had to live through, what she had to listen to day in and day out, she doesn't need to be returned to that home. I mean, good God, how can somebody say, "Oh, well, I believe it was a mistake for us to ever adopt her. It was more trouble than it was worth. If I had to do it over again, I don't think I could do it." I mean, that's way out there. I did a little bit, but my notebook is in the house, and I'm scared to leave the grill in the wind. Too many woods around me, but I remember she is autistic. Yes, she is. Thank you, Discovering Truth. Yes, she is on the high spectrum, I guess is how they put it. Basically, she's a teenager with a bunch of quirks. I mean, I'm not crazy about all these diagnoses that they give these kids. My oldest stepson was diagnosed from here to yon with all kinds of stuff, and I always had to take all kinds of medication and this and that, and he lived with his grandparents mainly. That's who raised him until me and his dad got married. When me and his dad got married, we took him home with us. We enrolled him in a different school. We took him off all the medication. And guess what? He was a normal kid. Wasn't no problems. So I'm not crazy about all these diagnoses with kids, especially when it ain't even a doctor making them. And her mom's out there trying to say she's bipolar because she looked it up. Oh my goodness. Grandis' sister husband must be brave putting up with Grandis for so long. Right? Well, okay, is it her sister? Yeah, it's her sister. So imagine he's not got one, he's got two of them. No, and I do believe that that woman did drag her by her hair of her head. I believe so too. I mean, think about it, guys. This woman says that Kaylee is her mini me, basically. It's her sidekick. That's what the word she used. She said, "This is my sidekick. We are always together." The girl is homeschooled. Her and her mother are always together. And then her dad talks about how him and one of his tech buddies goes in and puts every block that you could put on a phone and a computer so that she can't get out. Now, first of all, I want to address that. If they put every block on her phone and on her computer, why were they going through that girl's phone? And if there was blocks on there, could they have found? They say they found something that was so indecent. It was so horrible. They took her phone. But wait, didn't they just say that they had put every block they could on the phone and the computer? So if there was blocks on there, why are you taking this child's phone and going through it in the first place? And there shouldn't have been anything on there if you blocked everything. So something's just not adding up to me, guys. Maybe I'm wrong. I know there's a few people out there that think that she was just a trouble teen, but I don't see it that way. Hello, Miss Corey. I'm glad you're listening. Hello, Kathy. How are you? I mean, guys, and maybe I'm wrong. Lady R 2.0. Well, thank you so much for what you said in Dazed and Confused. I am so grateful to you. That was so sweet. I'm going to the store with you. Okay, we can go, honey. I just remember if there's nothing wrong, they no patience or job. Anyways, yeah. But the point is this child was always with her parents, always. She didn't go to public school. She was always with her mom. Where was her friends? Did she not have anybody she was allowed to talk to? They cut all communication off on her phone, her computer. Come on. What was the phone for? She wasn't allowed to talk to nobody but them. And no, I do not agree. I don't think kids should be getting on all these bad websites and all this stuff. But if they went in there and blocked everything that she could possibly get on, then obviously she wasn't doing that. So obviously they're not telling the truth about what they may have found on her phone. And what overaged stranger got in her phone and lured her away from the house? They put blocks on her phone before she ever got her phone took. How did these overaged strangers get a hold of her? Am I crazy, guys? Spice muffin and shepherd's pie. That is controlling her. And tell me, what if this girl was happy with her life? Kaylee's hiding from those parents, most likely. I agree. If she was happy, and and like I keep saying, guys, I may be wrong, but if this child was happy, she had been raised in that family since 3 years old. For one, she couldn't have remembered what her birth name was. They had to have told her. But if she was so happy, her being called Kaylee since she was 3 years old, why would she now want to be called by her birth name and not want to be called by her given name? I'm just saying, somebody needs to look at this in the crosshairs, because something's just not fitting right. And I'm sorry when I hear them holler, "Oh, somebody stole her and trafficked her. She's long gone from here." Who does that sound like to you? She's probably in Mexico. They've come up here and took her. She just got gone. Let me tell you, the first thing that threw up a red flag and I guess got me going down this road was I heard a news broadcast where the family or the dad had given an interview to the news team, and he described Kaylee leaving the house. This is the words he used. He escaped, or she escaped out the bedroom window. Do y'all hear a key word there? If your child ran away and you're telling somebody else how they got out of the house, what are you going to say? She climbed out the bedroom window. She climbed down the terrace out the window. She opened the window and went out the window. She escaped out the window. People can only escape if they're being held against their will. And that was the parent saying she escaped out the window. Hey, Nana, if you ever have a chance, you need to watch Dazed and Confused video. There were a lot of pictures of Summerwells. It was very heartbreaking and really sad. Watch when you can. Honey, I did watch it. I was watching it. I just, my feelings got hurt, Dazed and Confused. If you watch this at any future time, you share my videos a lot of times. You share my videos. And I didn't see not one video that I did for a tribute to Summer in that live. My feelings are hurt and I'm going to cry. Just saying. No, really, I'm not. I'm just joking with you, hon. Escape sounds fishy. It does. Escape from what? Exactly, her bedroom window. But I use that term with my son, but he's autistic and I keep everything blocked for his safety. I can't pronounce it, hon. Right. But this is a child that evidently rode horses. I mean, she was a very high functioning autistic child. It wasn't like, I don't believe she was the kind of child that you had to watch 24/7. I mean, I believe she played sports and stuff, right? Or did she? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Exactly, Carrie. You just don't say that your child has escaped. You say if your child is 2 years old and it gets through the gate and gets out into the yard or something, or gets out the front door and into the yard, then you say escaped because you're trying to contain them. But they're small, they're toddlers, they're little. So you do contain them. And if they get out, they have escaped. But you don't say escaped about a 16-year-old girl who has already complained to CPS once and was brought back and told that she would be brought back every time she done it. I mean, I understand law enforcement was just doing their job by bringing the child back home when she ran away in February. But to stand there and inform a teenager, if you want to try this again, let me tell you right now, you're going to be brought back here every single time unless you can provide proof of abuse. Well, she did evidently tell somebody that of the abuse that she was suffering, because CPS did show up either that day or a couple days later. Like I said on my video, the audio on Sleuth Mom's interview was cutting out and you couldn't understand what he said. It was either that day or a couple days later that CPS showed up to talk to them. I'm angry about this. I'm sorry, but I'm angry about this. You've got to watch, even your older teen kids. If you don't, you can't just you can't lock them away, but you can't just let them run to parties and do what they want that direction either. You have to find a middle ground. And I'm not, I feel like I'm just preaching or whatever you want to call it. But I had 4 children that I raised till adulthood. I had 8 to begin with. And most of them I went through their teenage years with the other 4 also. But my biological 4 children, I went from birth to adulthood. And I have 6 teenage grandchildren right now. So I have a little bit of experience, girls and boys. Exactly. Meds are, most of the time, they are very unnecessary. I ain't no snowflake. Quit acting. What are you talking about, Kathy? I have only mentioned your name, never stolen anyone's content. Honey, who said you stole content? Hold up, did I miss something here? I never said anybody stole any content. Hold up. On phone with Carroll County, I have identified a person of interest just from a social media search. Really? On Kaylee? Some autistic kids get up in the night and wander off. I know it still happens at 9 or 10. I don't know about teens. Well, and if that was something that they were worried about, why didn't they fix the window so that she couldn't have opened the window? The older ones are just as susceptible to going missing. It is crazy. Yes. Try being nice to her. Try being nice to who, Versi? Hold up, guys. Am I totally just missing out on a whole conversation that I'm just not seeing here? Chase Levitz, that's okay because I'm running behind too, evidently. I mentioned someone shared your content. Sorry, thought that meant without you. No. Dazed and anybody can share my content, honey. Dazed and Confused shares my content on their community tab. Yeah. I don't like when people clip my videos and do bad things with the stuff or do it to try to harm me. But if it's useful in finding a child, yes, please share it, use it. Just not for evil. But no, I wasn't saying anything. No, by no means, hon. Chase Levitz. Okay, I followed the Dennis Wells line, also thinking that was a brother or cousin to Donald, but he's in Hawaii. I know he's moved from Hawaii like 3 or 4 times and back to Ogden and to Georgia and Kylie. Okay. Yes, they should have been nicer to her. My friend is like me and has cameras everywhere and alarms on her windows, and her son took a battery out and escaped out the window. Scary. Now, see, and yes, that in that sense of the word, using the word escape does make sense. But not when you're talking about your child who is gone missing and has been gone for a month and you don't know where they're at. And what about Sleuth Mom asked Brenda and Danny, if Kaylee was to see this interview and you could say one thing to her, what would it be? And the mom starts laughing and starts saying, come home, and is still laughing when the dad interjects and says, or don't, stay where you're at. Just let us know where you're at so we know you're safe. Who tells their 17-year-old kid to, but yet they're saying, should I say, that they believe some older man lured her out and then took off with her. But yet at the same time, if she sees that video, he wants to sit there and tell her, oh, just stay where you're at. As long as you're happy, we don't care. Does that really sound like somebody that thinks that an older man lured her out to put her in trafficking? I mean, that's what I'm saying. This stuff don't sit right. Something's not right here. They're contradicting themselves. Exactly, Kathy. I agree. Or, sorry, that's not Kathy. Yes, I agree, hon. Nana, do you think Summer could be in Italy with Dawn's sister and her perv husband? Yeah, but from what I found out, they live. I don't know if from the beginning, I'd understood that they had left the country and stayed gone. I don't know if that's true or not, but before they left, I found out they live in, guess where? Utah. Yeah, that's why I think they're involved. Just seems sinister to me. About the Kaylee, yeah, exactly. I mean, something's just, and Lord, I don't want to, I'll hate to even think this, but somebody needs to at least put it out there. From all the trouble that these parents talk about that this child gave them, and how they are pushing so hard that this child was taken by an older man and trafficked. She's no longer there. Now, her being a teenager, how hard do you think law enforcement is going to dig into that? They're going to believe she's a runaway and she's took off or she was lured out, just like they're saying. They're not going to look behind the house, if you get my meaning. And don't think I'm a horrible person for thinking that. Look at the Turpin kids. Look how long they were kept hostage by chains. They were starved to death. They were tortured. And how many more kids are out there that is like that? Just because you live in a fine, fancy house and you look like you come from money, and obviously these people do come from money, does not make you any better or any worse than anybody else. They can be horror monsters just as well as anybody else could. But is law enforcement honestly going to look in that direction? Are they going to think, oh, well, hey, well, maybe this child didn't go anywhere. Maybe we need to start looking around the house? You know? No, I doubt it. And God forgive me if I'm wrong. And it is all alleged. This is just how I feel and what I think. But I'm telling y'all, something ain't right about this family. Something ain't right about these parents. And something ain't right about them wanting everybody to believe that a grown older man lured this child out and took off with her, and now she's long gone. I mean, they didn't even put out there that there's a possibility that she could have went to her biological mother, or that she could have went to her biological brother. And somebody pointed out the other day on my video, what parent back in February when she ran away the first time and law enforcement brought her back home, and CPS came out and visited and all this stuff, they took her and put her on a plane in Atlanta and flew her to Illinois, to Chicago, by herself to let her spend a week with her brother. She just ran away from home. The law had to just bring her back. You're so scared something's going to happen to her, but you put her on a plane by herself at the age of 16 and send her to Chicago by herself. But yet she's a runaway. Don't sound too damn smart to me. I worked with folks who needed understanding and help for 20 years, right? I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound so agitated, guys, or preachy, or whatever you want to call it. Hello, Miss Rockin' Robin. I'm glad to see you in here, sweetheart. I worried that she may not have been trafficked at all. It's just a gut feeling. I get a really bad vibe from those two. Me too, Carrie. And to me, it never crossed my mind that she could be trafficked. Although, yes, that is a big trafficking area. Yes. But there was also a person that was from down there that commented in my video. And they said that this is the place where most of the people, the teenagers that get trafficked, they found like 27 teens or something from that motel. They went and got them from that motel, law enforcement has. And there's another place over here on the other side of town that has, blah, blah, blah. And he said, why wasn't one of those places one of the first places they went and looked for her? But they didn't. I'm passionate, not preachy. Well, thank you, sweetheart. When I started looking into the Kaylee Jones case, my heart just went out to this child, especially after I listened to her mother and father in the nonchalant, well, just stay wherever you're at. Don't bother coming home. We don't care if you're with an older guy who lured you into trafficking. If you see this, if you're happy, just stay where you're at. We don't care. We just want to know that you're alive. Get real. Oh, sorry. We think we made a mistake when you were 3 years old by adopting you and your brother. And it wasn't like this was like an unplanned pregnancy, guys. Brenda worked with Kaylee from the time she was 18 months old till she was 3 years old in a behavioral, some kind of behavioral health thing. At 3, they found out that the state was taking the parental rights away from the parents. So they said, oh no, we'll adopt her. And 16, well, not even 16, 12, 13 years later, oh, well, we think we made a mistake and we wouldn't ever do it again if we had it to do over. That's horrible. Off to cook. Okay, Kathy. Thank you for listening. Guys, I don't want to just keep apologizing or sound like I'm bitching, or it is, I guess you would call it passion. I just have a passion for these kids that have to go through this. I understand no parent is perfect and no parent has all the rules. They don't come with damn instruction manuals when they're born or when they're adopted or anything. But it seems to me that these parents could have put a little more effort forward to make something right for their kids. All of us raised our kids without any crazy incidences. I know I raised mine, and I don't think I didn't have one that ran off. Mine ran off. But you know what I did? I go and track her butt down. I went into other people's houses and I would snatch my child up and I took her butt right back home. And I watched my kid and I got up through the damn night and I made sure that she was in the house. I made sure my kids were safe. I did everything I could to anyways. My children were raised from babies to adulthood. They didn't go missing. They didn't get killed. They didn't get trafficked. They weren't, my daughter was gone for 1 day when she ran off. And she called her grandmother and said, hey, you don't let my mommy worry. Just tell her that I'm blah, blah, blah. And what did the grandmother do? Called me up and said, hey, Ashley just called me. And I knew exactly where she was at then. And I went and got her. How could Kylie's mom allow a 16, 15, 16, whatever, it doesn't matter, allow her to drive 30 minutes away to a party without knowing, is there going to be supervision there? What's going to happen there? What kind of people are going to be there? If these parties have been going on for years and years and years, then they knew what kind of parties it was. They knew the drugs were going to be being spread. They knew the alcohol was going to be flying. They knew the fights were going to happen. What damn kind of parent allows a 16-year-old kid to go free will to a party like that? What kind of parent, like Kaylee's parents, keep their kid locked up without any kind of peer socialization? People have to have a social life, whether it's friends, a boyfriend, a best friend, even go to church, just to have people their own age that are like-minded. Dawn and Candace, Lord, there are so many things I could say about their parenting skills. So many. And it just all winds up with they both need to be in jail. And I'm not even talking about Summer getting gone. I'm talking about just the kind of parents they were. And I'm not talking about them not having money or not having the finest things. I'm talking about the simple fact, okay, your house is wrecked, your house is a mess, it's got shit all over it. You know CPS is coming. Ask for a couple of friends to come and help you clean that mess up before CPS shows up so that your kids don't get took. Your daughter goes missing, there's cops and DCS and everybody else in and out of your house. Do something. Clean the house up, the inside, the outside, before your boys get took. But they didn't give a shit. And they didn't. And it really, really ticks me off. I will never forget, I let my 16-year-old son go to a friend's. My husband and I went to eat. On our way back, decided to drive by. What happened? Michelle, you can't just leave us hanging like that. I did not see him, but my husband said he is standing right there waving at you. I was busted. Oh, well, that's funny. Of course, me, I'd have walked right on up in the house and dared anybody to said something to me. Nona, just curious, do you know if the boys are in Tennessee? I have been told that they are in the state, yes. Charlie K, I didn't even see you come in. Where's he at? Kylie's parents don't even talk. Do they poor? All right. Do they poor likely? Kylie, what's happened there? I don't know, honey. Exactly. Now, I mean, with 8 kids, when I had 8 kids in my house did get nasty sometimes, but it's also got cleaned. My house was not spotless all the time, no. But there was never a time that I had to worry about CPS coming in and taking my kids. Because if I knew something like that was going to happen, I cleaned my darn house, for heaven's sakes. Never apologize for doing the right thing. We have to, many abusive parents, uncaring parents, plus parents who think they should be their best friends. You can't be best friends with your kids till they're grown adults, right? I agree. Oh, guys, I hate to cut it short this evening, but I am feeling really, really rotten. Hello, Rocky Top. How are you? You're here now. It was really cool to see John Davis talk about Kaylee. I never got a chance to see him talk about Kaylee, but that's where I got the name from. And I put it on the little spinny wheel. Tomorrow we're going to spin the wheel again. Well, I'm going to try to get on here and spin the wheel again, and we'll pick another name and let you guys know who it is. Even though we might not be church people, chances are our parents were, and we have the love of God in our hearts. Too many parents nowadays don't have that. That is 100% absolutely correct, honey. When my son was 3, I lost him at Chuck E. Cheese and about had a breakdown and had everybody searching and found him behind a video game in the high chair asleep. Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but a while back it was said, and even if you know it, make sure and spread it out, spread the thing. If you lose a small child, the very first thing you need to do is start screaming, not screaming, but yelling. Yell out their name, their age, what they are wearing, what they look like, the color of hair, the color of eyes, what they're wearing. And that way people will start listening, and then they start looking for that child wearing those clothes, looking like that. And chances are, if there's somebody that has grabbed them, they know that everybody's looking for that child and what they're wearing and what they look like, and they will turn that child loose. So please pass that information on. If you ever lose your child, the first thing you start doing is very loudly start yelling the description and what they were wearing. And continue to yell it until you find your child. I'm going to try to, Corey. I'm telling you, hon, I haven't felt this bad in a while. I'm afraid I'm getting some kind of, I don't know. I want to say chest cold. I'm hoping it's just a chest cold. Oh, and why don't we just go ahead and roll the wheel while we're on here, and that way I don't have to try to go live tomorrow. Let me pull this wheel up, guys. And we'll spin the wheel and pick a name. And this has the name of all of the kids, and Kaylee's name is still on there, but it's been marked as done. So if her name comes up, we'll just redo it, okay? Here we go, guys. Let's see. Spin the wheel. Kadar Williamson. Kadar Williamson. That's who we're going to be looking at, guys, for this week. I had several tracking devices on my son, and none were accurate, but Angel Sense and the school didn't allow it because I could listen in, and it invaded privacy policy. I was mad. You're kidding. You should have went and talked to a lawyer about that. That's ridiculous. That's taking away the chance of, your child being lost. Changing the weather, yeah, it can give you a cold, and it's been really cold the last 3 days here. At least until like up to noon, and then it starts warming up. And plus, these carpets they're not older carpets, but they're older carpets, and I had to clean them, and they still need to clean them again. So that might have something to do with it. I'm not sure. Everybody, please don't forget to say prayers for all the people that are affected by that hurricane. Nana, get some rest. A shot of moonshine, feel better. Honey, if I had a shot of moonshine, I definitely would do it. I kept telling Tina when she was sick, I kept telling her, and she wouldn't listen to me. Drink a couple shots of moonshine, like 2 tablespoons every 4 hours or something. It will knock it out of you. Right, exactly. Well, it's the same thing as when they went to homeschooling with the computers during 2020. Um, they wouldn't allow the parents to even be in the room when they were talking to the students on the computers. Hot toddy, yeah. In my county, the sheriff department has Project Lifesaver tracking devices, but if they go missing, only one specific sheriff knows how it works, and he's the only one that can track them, which is ridiculous. Well, no, not really. If you think about it, would you really want a whole bunch of people being able to track your child? And then if something happened, you wouldn't know who it was that done something to your child. You know what I mean? So if only one person's got a tracking device on your child and something happens or they go missing, they go look at that person first. No, no, I'm late, but did you know that criminals are using Apple AirTags to follow people home, especially young women? They're magnetic and rapists put them underneath the car and these men follow. Yes, I have seen that. I did the other night because I really felt bad. Could barely talk. Worked. Yeah, I wished I had it, babe. I swear to I would take it. None of what's the name we're looking for. Kadar Williamson. Q Kadar. Hang on a second. Um, where'd it go? QDAR Williamson. QDAR. I'll put it in the chat. Try to share these names too, guys. I mean, and the reason I wanted, like I said, the reason I want to do them for like a week, put out several videos, is that way it's getting ingrained in your brain. It's not just like 3 minutes of their face and then you never see it again and you don't know anything about their story. Because trust me, if you're in another chat right now, just what little we've talked about Kaylee Jones today, if you're in a chat somewhere else, you're going to remember, that's going to click in your brain. You're going to remember Kaylee. You're going to remember Kaylee's face because you know some of the backstory, you know different things about her. And it's not just a bunch of words running across the screen saying, hey, this kid's missing, here's the face, and then you don't see him again. But if that sheriff isn't working, they got to track him down, and my son could be 10 miles away by then. So I just watch him like a right. I agree with you. I see it both ways. Maybe they should have 2 or 3, but I wouldn't want the whole darn department knowing how to track my child. I've been sick since Saturday. My BP is at stroke level, a rattle in my chest. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Praying for you, Sassy. From what state? How old? That I don't know. I just they threw names at me the other day, honey. Hang on a second. I'll see if I wrote it down. I don't even know if they gave it to me. Let me find them on my paper here. Philly, from Philadelphia. That's all they gave me. Safe and alive. They found them. Is that what you're saying? Zero, that she's been found? The Real Rockin' Robin, there's the information. 10 years old, female from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They said that, but I made sure they saw me. No one is going to tell me I can't be in the room in my own house. Exactly. I'm so glad I didn't have kids in school. I had grandkids, but I didn't have kids in school when all that took place because oh Lord, I'd have been fighting. Okay, hun. If you do find out, will you please, can you email me and let me know so that I don't go through making videos and stuff? I mean, I can check too, but like I said, I'm running off hotspot. And so anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. Say prayers for all these kids. Say prayers for all these cases. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Talk to you later. Love your kids. Love your parents. Thank the good Lord above for what you've got. And take 5 minutes and love yourselves. Until later, guys. Bye.